worthless piece of trailer trash. If he cared about anything, it was
He drank and smoking good.
his welfare check.
Okay, so this ain't nothing about acting or nothing.
But before Cooter got too drunk, there was work to do. It gets cold around here at night.
Oh, yeah.
And
Got
he
chopped
needed to
wood.
hit the wood splitter for some fuel.
Yep.
Make that fool. He was so trashed,
Ah, fool.
he broke his arm instead.
God damn, son of a bitch. Wow.
Right there at the tip. It'd be like getting your arm run over by a M1 Abrams tank.
Cooter saw himself as one of the red-blooded American do-it-yourselfers, and he wasn't about to waste any hard-earned government welfare money on a doctor.
Oh, man.
Work of art. A month later, Cooter was ready to cut off his homemade cast. He brought over his favorite illegitimate daughter, Tammy, to help.
See this thing here?
Okay, this is going. Okay, so this ain't nothing about acting. I was
What are
on.
you doing?
We're going to take this thing off. I need you to hold it.
Cooter had a thing for power tools. He broke his arm with a log splitter. Might as well use a table saw to remove the cast.
Yeah, now it's gonna go too deep.
Redneck gods smiled down upon the useless drunk.
See that? Told you I was fine.
And then they pulled his plug.
Oh! He cut off the circulars down, but.
When Cooter decided
Right.
to play doctor, he made two mistakes.
Stupid.
He didn't set the bone properly, and two, he made the cast too tight.
Right, you cut off the circulation
When
down.
he took it off, fat globules that were leaking from
Oh.
the bone were finally released back into his bloodstream. They went straight to his heart, causing fatal embolism.
Yeah.
The only thing to say about Cooter, he was a
Damn, bro.
mean-spirited drunk.
So yeah, kind of like it's calm and stuff. But now I can say calm and stuff. God damn, son of a bitch.
I love my little kitty, her coat is so warm, and if I don't hurt her, she'll do me no harm. So I'll pull her tail or drive her away, but Kitty and I will have fun and play.
Hattiesburg, Virginia. Okay.
Carson Harold III is a U.S. congressman, and he's having the worst election day in
Oh, yeah, congressman, okay.
politics. Not only was he just voted out of office, his Brazilian mistress just outed him and sold her sleazy story to the press.
Damn. His mistress.
It gets worse. Carson's wife abandoned their son
Damn, he losing everything.
and left him high and dry and broke. Still not impressed? Carson took him all this bad news
Wait.
and fell down dead. Now, that's a bad day.
He said, nah, that's a bad day.
You could argue it was his penis. Because when a politician
Oh, he done caught something from the. Damn.
his constituency do the thinking, nothing good ever happens. Carson met Giselle on a trade mission to
Yeah, so she done had something.
For the next 10 years, he can regularly be found deep in the Amazon.
He been there for 10 years.
One night, while sleeping in the bed of his government-financed lover, Carson was bitten by a local insect,
Oh, damn.
a triatoma. The
Oh,
locals
damn.
named for it the kissing bug.
That's me, your
Oh, damn.
bites you around the lips, sucks the blood, and then has a quick poop. It itches, so in the middle of the night you wipe it, and you wipe a parasite into the wound. And this is where your Chagas disease comes from.
Oh, damn.
Initially, it felt no worse than a mosquito bite. But for 10 years, while Carson was serving his constituents,
Damn.
servicing Giselle, the small protozoa hibernated in the fibers of Harold's heart muscle and continued to reproduce.
affects 8 to 10 million people worldwide. 20% of those
Wow.
million will succumb to it, and the heart will beat in a certain rhythmic pattern. When you get an arrhythmia, this is a disruption of that pattern. It will not act as a proper pump, and this will cause cardiac arrest and death.
Damn.
Carson Harold was a corrupt politician who enjoyed the perks
Yeah, I like these, a lot of these, coma
of awards
ones.
on the taxpayer's dime.
Hey, this dude, he was hitting it for 10 years, but I'll give that to you.
Popped his bubble
Damn.
and turned him into the leading candidate for death.
Got him.
It's 1945, and World War II was drawing to a close. The Americans were doing what they did best: kicking Nazi butt. This SS scum put up a good fight, but he was no match for a red-blooded American bullet in the head. But the German wasn't dead. 50 years later, he was alive and well and living out his days as an American citizen in Brooklyn, New York. Say hello to Dieter. After the war, he hooked up with an underground Nazi relocation network called Odessa.
Sieht super aus.
In 1946, Odessa was created, but there were other smuggling networks that pre-existed at the end of the war. Many of the Schutzstaffel, or SS, were relocated to Latin America, and from there they were able to obtain new identities, and they were able to migrate anywhere.
Ganz meine Güte, verdammt normal.
Even after all these years, Dieter was still one sour crock.
Meine Güte, nicht mehr genug.
The master racist made an angry milk run to the fridge
Mach ich dieselbe jeden Tag.
and never made it back. When Dieter was shot, the bullet penetrated his skull and wound up right next to a major artery in his brain. For 50 years, it waited to finish the job. Dieter's head knock finally did the trick.
There was an important blood vessel just by the bullet. When this man got another hit to the head, the bullet dislodged and it severed the blood vessel. It affected brain function, it caused some bleeding, and he died.
Dieter thought he had cheated death. But the former Nazi had no idea death could be so patient. As for the bullet in his head, it was just following orders. Cooter was a worthless piece of trailer trash. If he cared about anything, it was booze, guns, and his welfare check.
Your puppy.
But before Cooter got too drunk, there was work to do. It gets cold around here at night, and he needed to hit the wood splitter for some fuel. Make that fool. He was so trashed, he broke his arm instead.
Son of a bitch!
I've worked around heavy equipment most of my life. A log splitter is probably one of the most dangerous. Some of these wood splitters, they're putting out 10, 15, 20 PSI right there at the tip. It'd be like getting your arm run over by a M1 Abrams tank.
Cooter saw himself as one of them red-blooded American do-it-yourselfers, and he wasn't about to waste any hard-earned government welfare money on a doctor.
It's a work of art.
A month later, Cooter was ready to cut off his homemade cast. He brought over his favorite. There's plenty of ways to get through college. Marshall was doing it by working hard.
Hello?
Katie was doing it by working Marshall.
Do you have that homework that I had you do for me? Perfect, thank you.
They shared the same chemistry class, and Katie made sure she got the smart nerd as her lab partner.
Hydrogen chloride and ammonia. It's an exothermic reaction.
What's an exothermic reaction?
It makes heat.
Katie knew all about generating heat. She could turn the sexually inexperienced Marshall on like a Bunsen burner.
It's very easy to arouse a man, as long as they see something that turns them on, from a woman's cleavage to a nice-looking butt or a great pair of legs. His blood pressure goes up, his heart starts beating, and he does release testosterone. It's the same kind of feeling he gets when he sees a great hot car. And he wants to get in there and find out if it's a keeper.
How many more of these do we have to do?
There's a lot.
Katie was about to learn a valuable chemistry lesson.
I have to go.
It's your grade.
Don't flash your headlights when your horny lab partner is mixing ammonia with hydrochloric acid. The toxic cloud of gas fused her contact lenses right to her eyeballs. She looked out from her damaged eyes and saw blurry salvation. The eye wash station.
She slipped on this waxed floor and broke her cervical spine vertebrae. Spinal cord injury in this particular area would immediately cease respiratory function. Person would stop breathing, all brain control would be lost, and death would be instantaneous.
Katie tried to flirt her way through school.
I have to go.
It's your grade.
And in the end, she passed on. His favorite illegitimate daughter, Tammy, to help.
See this thing here?
Yeah.
There's a doctor.
What? What are you doing?
We're going to take this thing off. I need you to hold it.
Rhoda, stop! Stop!
Cooter had a thing for power tools. If he broke his arm with a log splitter, might as well use a table saw to remove the cast. The redneck gods smiled down upon the useless drunk.
See that? Told you I was fine.
And then they pulled his plug. When Cooter decided to play doctor, he made two mistakes. One, he didn't set the bone properly, and two, he made the cast too tight. When he took it off, fat globules that were leaking from the marrow of his broken bone were finally released back into his bloodstream. They went straight to his heart and caused a fatal embolism. The only thing to say about Cooter, he was a worthless, mean-spirited drunk.
You run!
Y'all don't come back now. Here?